Hi and welcome to Millgap Farms. My name is Kevin, along with my beautiful wife Emily. We're the proud owners of Virginia's only USDA certified organic maple syrup farm. Yes, that's a lot, and we can make maple syrup in Virginia. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but we got the weather, we got the altitude, the maple trees, and we can do it. It's really neat. Today on the channel, I'm a little frustrated, and I'm going to share that frustration with you. If you can't already see it, this is my M4900. I have done this repair. Oh, let me see how many times I've done it. I'm thinking quite a few times, and it's starting to get frustrating. This video might be a little bit of a rant and maybe an appeal to Kubota to help me out, because I don't get it. I really don't get it. The bearing on the outside of the hub is the one that usually goes first. The inner bearing on the assembly here usually does okay. Now I have broken it. Yes, it has been broken, but in this case, I don't have a problem with that one. But the outer bearing has a problem, and it broke. Why? Now I replaced this not even a year ago, or I want to say it's about a year ago, and I've replaced this, oh boy, gosh, again, I don't know how many times. This, in fact, was my very first YouTube video. I took my phone that I still have today. It's like an iPhone 6 or a 7. It's definitely old. I still have it. It still works. Not all that great, by the way. At any rate, I used that phone and a thing called Movie Maker in Microsoft. Maybe it's Windows. It's their movie media maker. I don't think they have it anymore, but I used that to make my video. It was really cool because I couldn't find a video on how to do this. I went ahead and made a video, so the next time I needed it, I'd have it. And wouldn't you believe? I needed it, so I had to go back and watch the video, as did a lot of people. I don't know if mine is the only video out there, but certainly it has gotten thousands upon thousands of views, maybe as many as 50 or 60,000. I know the last time I saw it was around 40,000 or 35,000, and that was probably 3 years ago. Now I do watch the video. I don't look at the analytics very much, but I do on occasion will go back and look at it to make sure when I go to do this repair that I'm doing it correctly. And I've actually created videos about this repair for both this tractor, which is an M4900, and my M105X. Now I've done the M105X 3 to 5 times each side. It's getting a little nutty, and on this particular tractor I've lost count. Kubota, what is going on? What am I doing wrong? I am putting my shims right back in where the same number that came out, I put them back in. That shouldn't have an effect on the bearing itself. Now that should have an effect on how that shim sits in that area perhaps, but not the bearing. The bearings are continually failing. Why? I don't know. Let me show you the latest failure. This is the bearing itself. I bought this from Kubota like I do every time. I use Messicks. I don't think this is Messicks' fault. I think this is a Kubota issue. Or maybe it's a repairman issue. I don't know. But Kubota, if you're watching this, what's going on? Help me figure out why I'm having to do this on the same side once a year. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, oop, there goes the bearing. Oh no, that goes the race. So here's the race that broke. There's a few balls missing, which I think they went down in the bottom, down inside of here, and they further crunched themselves up because there was plenty of metal inside of this thing. Now, this being said, I gotta clean my hands now. I found a lot of metal down inside of here. I have cleaned all of this out with brake clean, as well clean that out and clean the ring gear out as well. Everything has been cleaned. I'm gonna put everything right back together the way it was, except I'm not putting the seal back together because when I stuck this part here together, let me show you. When I stuck this guy, the hub inside of this housing, I don't see where the seal is leaking. So I'm gonna stick it all back together. If it leaks, I'll go get another seal. No big deal. That's fairly easy to get to, as well are the bearings. But should I have to do it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. This has been kind of crazy with me. If you've watched any of my videos for any period of time, this one comes up at least once a year. It's been a little nutty. Sometimes twice a year. It's even nuttier. One of the things that I've done to make sure I get all the metal chunks out is I raised the other side of the axle up, drop this one down, so everything's gonna come across to this side. Once I'm done putting everything back together, I've got to put the gear loop back in it, but I do it on that side. basically what I'm gonna do is jack the tractor up, set it back down on its tires, and then I'm gonna begin putting the gear lube back in. Currently, we've got about 2.5 gallons of gear lube that's come out of this particular axle. I know that's not all, because we had a little bit leak. Not a whole lot, but some did leak. Since I've done this so many times, I actually have a bearing left over from one of the other times. And before too long, I'll have ordered all these parts again through Messicks so that when this happens again next month or next year, I will be able to get it done. All right, so that's my brand new one. I'm gonna set it down. Pull this guy, I'm gonna set it down. This bearing's gonna go right inside of here and sit and ride inside this housing. Now, get this bearing in here, I can put a little oil on it, some gear lube. Let me get that. I've done this so many times, I now buy gear lube in the 5-gallon buckets. I think that's a little crazy. All right. Oh, that's the wrong way. Let's get some on the inside too. There we go. Now I need to clean my hands off. I got my dead blow hammer. I got 2 hammers that'll work. I think that's quite in there where it needs to be. I need to get a piece of wood. You know what? I need my brass rod. There you go, you hear it? I know I've got my vacuum going in the background. You might be thinking, a vacuum? That's not like a vacuum I've ever used. But since we're a maple syrup farm, we're at the tail end of the maple season. We've already completed all the syrup that we're gonna make, and that vacuum is keeping the vacuum on our taps. If you wanna learn more about that, you can click down in the description or go to our channel, click on that, and you'll see a lot of different videos about making maple syrup, because that's what we do here on the farm. And apparently we fix Kubotas too. All right, so that's in there. The next thing we need to do is get the keepers in place. There's one keeper. There's the second keeper. I know there's a serial break in this particular tractor, and I always check that when I order my parts. All right, that bearing's pretty good. We got to put our shims back in here before we start putting the bearing back in. That would be a bad thing if you don't put the shims in. Okay. Now, that bearing fits right up inside. I'm going to take my dead blow hammer. All right, good. That's in where it needs to be. This has got to go on here. It's going to look something like this. Slide it around. It's going to slide on those splines. Watch your fingers. Set it on down here. It's going to sit, believe it or not, it's going to sit on those keepers. So that's where that's going to sit next. We're going to put it all back together. All right. Now, we don't need the bucket here anymore, so that can go aside. We've got 2 guide pins on the bottom, and that's going to help us get this thing in the right position. Now, I don't know if you saw this. That axle or the hub is going to go right into this bearing right here. Everything is pretty clean. Now, everything is heavy. That and I'm old. We're just gonna take it and we're gonna set it down. And we're supposed to go. Bam. Nope, that didn't work. There we go. Maybe, maybe not. There. Okay. Got to rotate just a little bit. All right. Dead blow. Let's see if my dead blow will get it up in there. Yep. I personally like to hand tighten all of my bolts before I push them in or before I tighten them down. That way if I have a problem, I can fix it by hand and not cross thread it. If you're doing this repair yourself, there's an O-ring that's on this particular part here that's gonna keep gear lube from coming out once you put these both together. I've only replaced it once in all the times I've done this. That doesn't mean it couldn't stand to be replaced, but I just haven't done it and I haven't had any leaks either. Not gonna go all the way. Put it on just like I do a tire. All right, that's good there. Everything is back together. I'm gonna get this off the ground. Once I get the tire on, I'm not gonna be able to see behind here or clean behind here. So I wanna make absolutely sure that everything back here doesn't have any grease on it or oil or something dripping, so that when I put all my gear lube back in and run the tractor, if I were to get a leak, I can find it. Right now, everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything here. So we're gonna get our wheel and we're gonna put it back on. Yeah, buddy, that's unusual. These are a little bit different in that they take washers. Most of my lug nuts are not quite this way. These have like a conical shape, but they also have a flat shape too. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the flat shape on, tighten it down, raise it up, put it back on the ground. There we go. The easiest way to get this tractor up in the air is to start it and then put the loader down, so I raise the front end up. That's where we're gonna fill from right there on top of the axle. This is the high point where you want your fluid level to be. So I'm gonna pull this one and the one on the other side out just to make sure that we don't overfill it. All right, I got 2 funnels. That way I can keep using my 5-gallon bucket. This is gonna take a few minutes. I'm gonna put a little in, go do something else, come back, put a little in, and we'll get it done in a few minutes. What's happening while we're doing this, it's got to go all the way across to the other side, and then it's going to fill from that side over. Probably a little bit on both sides until it hits that right height, which is going to take a little while. So what's happening is it's going to fill. Uh-oh, it's not filling, it's messing up now. I'm dripping it everywhere. Oh, crud. Oh well, I'll get that fixed. And that's why I buy extra. The easiest way to figure out if you got enough in is this right here. You see that big mess? It's come out of the overflow. That's gonna let us know that it's even all the way across the top. There's definitely an easier way to do it, but I'm working with a 5-gallon bucket. So to really measure that perfectly, I don't always get it right. And that's probably why I buy it in 5-gallon buckets. All I need to do is put that bolt back in and then put the other bolt back in where I'm putting the fluid. And then that's it. Well, I say that's it. I gotta clean up my mess. After I clean up my mess, I'm gonna drive this thing out and go do something fun with it. Yeah, I'll get down and put back in, then everything's gonna be fine. Before I leave, I'm gonna put some Stay Dry on it. That way, it'll suck it all up overnight. Kubota, tell me why this is happening. I don't know. Maybe it's me, and it very well could be me. But maybe it's the parts that we're using, because both my tractors are acting the same way. The only thing I've picked up with this tractor in the last 6 months to a year is just hay bales. Nothing else. And my hay bales weigh 900 to 1,000 pounds. That's about it. And I'm not driving around the farm. I'm only going up and down my driveway. So we're not doing this bouncing around stuff. It shouldn't be doing this, in my mind. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Hey, thanks a lot for watching our video. Do consider giving us a thumbs up. It means a lot to us. You know what really means a lot? Is hearing from you. Let me know where you're watching in the comments, because it's really neat to see where everybody's watching from. It really is cool. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, God bless you. Now it's time to clean up the mess. You know what? I am not scooping this out. All I'm gonna do is dump it. Probably a little too much, but we'll see what that does by tomorrow.